Honorable Men Discord. The Bronze Bomber is back. Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's get straight to it. Deontay Wilder was out in London fighting Chisora. I watched the fight, and before I get into my opinion of the fight, this fight, hopefully, for those of you that love boxing, leads to him finally fighting Anthony Joshua. I think it's long overdue. I'm still interested in seeing the fight, regardless of whether there's a belt involved or not. I just want to see the fight. Let's just get the fight over with and stop playing these games of who's the A side, who's the B side, who wants more money, who has what to lose. At this point, they should just fight, all right? They should just fight. Besides that, Anthony Joshua has been seen in videos training. So let's just get in the ring and get over with, all right? But I have three things queued up. The first thing is just the moment in the fight where Deontay Wilder slipped, and I'm going to talk about that. And then I'm going to show you when just before the fight when Deontay Wilder was entering the arena, and then also when he was leaving the arena. Both times he saw Anthony Joshua, but he responded differently both times. So let's go into the first video I have queued up.
Falling through the ropes. He shakes his head. Asleep. He's looking down. The referee, no knockdown. By this.
Now, let me just say something. There's something about Deontay Wilder that's captivating. There's something about him that I do, in fact, like. Am I a fan of his boxing? Now, yes and no. I'm a fan of what everyone else has been a fan of, and it's the possibility of him knocking you out if he lands that right. Okay? I was rooting for him when he fought Tyson Fury, but I have to say, it seems as though no matter what changes he makes in the corner, I still feel like I'm seeing the same fighter. And if you agree with me, I'll see you in the comment section. And again, as a human being, something about Deontay Wilder, I just like the guy. I think he seems to be a genuinely sincere person. Seems like a good guy. That's just my assumption. I don't know him personally. But as a fighter, I see too many flaws. He still looks like he's winded, although he managed to get through all the rounds. He got through all the rounds, so I applaud him for that. He got through all the rounds, all right? This slip-up, he got back up on his feet relatively fast, right? But he doesn't seem... First of all, his defense, to me, he lacks defense. I never really see him blocking properly. And for some reason, leading up to this fight, when I saw videos of him jabbing the punching bag, his jabs look super clean and accurate. But then as soon as it's fight night, the jabs look sloppy and soft. It's almost like he's hesitant to let it go, maybe because he's afraid that when he lets it go, he's giving the opponent an opportunity to get a shot off. But his jabs look nothing like how it does when he's training. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, do your due diligence. Just Google Deontay Wilder training. Google him throwing jabs while training. And his jabs look fierce. It looks fierce. But then as soon as fight night comes, the first thing I'm thinking when I was watching the fight is, where's that jab that you were practicing? Where's that jab? It seems like during fight night, he just uses his long reach to maintain separation between him and the other boxer. I'm not seeing him use his left for the jab. I just see him just trying to keep the boxer at bay until he throws the right. And then when he decides to throw the right, he's throwing the right often. So he depends so much on that right punch. Now, he did throw uppercuts. I saw uppercuts in there, so I was like, okay, I'm seeing uppercuts. but he depends extremely on that right punch. The left is always just a setup for him, and it's obvious. It's not even like he's jabbing and baiting the person to, you know, set up that right punch. He's just literally like holding it out, and you know, and then a lot of the other punches I saw in this fight were just sloppy. Now his opponent, Chisora, I wasn't that impressed by his boxing either. You know, listen, and I know the guy had a longer career. I believe Chisora was over 50 fights in his career, and he's well respected in the UK. And I don't say that to offend him or to talk down on his boxing record, but I wasn't that impressed by what I saw out of Chisora. And maybe it's because he was at the tail end of his career, or at the end, I should say, because he retired after this fight. But I wasn't that impressed by Chisora either. But I went there, I went to watching the fight to see if Deontay Wilder made any adjustments to his boxing skills, and I didn't really see much adjustments. If I'm wrong in saying that, let me know in the comments if you notice anything different. I mean, the one thing that stood out is that he made it through all the rounds. He wasn't all the way gassed, you know, like the other fights where he just seemed like he needed to work on his cardio. As far as his legs are concerned, obviously it's genetics, but I think he needs to work on his legs. His legs look way too thin, and I think that plays into his lack of stability at times. His legs are just too thin. I don't know what type of training he does for his legs, and if he is in fact working his legs out, maybe it's just the genetics, how he was, his bone structure is, but his legs are way too thin, and his upper body's not too large, but it's still larger than his legs, and that's going to pose a problem when we're talking about boxing. Boxing, you know, your legs are your foundation. You need that for balance. You need that for your punching power. Now, with that being said, even with him having slim legs, he has extreme punching power. All right. But let me get into this video with him entering the arena. And if you notice, Anthony Joshua is looking down at his phone, but he raises his head in case Deontay Wilder actually greets him. But let's take a look at this. Now, Deontay Wilder walked right past him. Not that he has to greet Anthony Joshua. They're not best of friends. Not to mention he's focused. So I didn't see anything wrong with that. And then this is him leaving. This is Deontay Wilder leaving the ring, in which he interacts with Anthony Joshua.
Let's do it. Let's do it. We're ready for He's scared, though. He's scared. Let's do it.
So the question is Anthony Joshua scared of Deontay Wilder? And I don't know if he's scared or if his management is just trying to avoid the fight. Because if you look right above me, look at what someone had to say. Don't forget that AJ dodged Wilder during their primes. And that's a fact. Everyone wanted to see that. I wanted to see that fight in their primes. Way before Anthony Joshua lost, in their primes, I wanted to see that happen. And Wilder was pushing for it. So Wilder's not stressing it like that now, but he still had to make it known when he was passing Anthony Joshua. Let's make this happen. Let's do it. But the question is, will AJ do it? All right. Now, real quick, I just wanted to go over Deontay Wilder. Prior to this fight, Deontay Wilder had 44 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. And 43 were made by knockouts. 43 of those wins were by knockouts. That's incredible. That is incredible. You see why an Anthony Joshua was hesitant to get in the ring with someone like him? So out of 44 wins, 43 was knockouts? Yikes. Right? So I said, all right, what is Anthony Joshua's record? Right? Anthony Joshua has 29 wins, 4 losses, and no draws. Out of his 29 wins, 26 were knockout, which is incredible for him too. But that's 29 fights as opposed to 44 with 43 knockouts. All right. Now his record, now Deontay Wilder, obviously, after this recent fight, he's up to 45 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. But that's incredible. 43 knockouts is incredible. Incredible. What's your thoughts on all of this? What is your thoughts of the fight if you saw it? If you didn't see the fight, what's your thoughts on the highlights that you saw? Do you feel as though Deontay Wilder's back? You know, I see some of the headlines. He's back. You know, listen, I'm happy for him. I'm not gonna say whether or not he's back. What I will say is I'm happy for him, and I'd like to see him and Anthony Joshua get in the ring. I'll say that much. But again, I don't feel as though I'm seeing a lot of adjustments made from Deontay Wilder. I could be wrong in that. Maybe some of you all watching this episode saw something during the fight that I didn't see. I'm glad he stood up for the all the rounds. He made it through all the rounds. Which is a change from his last few fights where it seems like he was barely getting through the rounds, but he made it through all the rounds. I saw some uppercuts. I just personally did not like how the jabs were looking, but he came up he came out of it the victor. So shout out to him. Shout out to him. What's your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on any future fights? What's your thoughts on Anthony Joshua attending the fight? Listen, Anthony Joshua attending the fights, maybe he was doing it because it was in the UK. Maybe he was supporting Chisora in his career. But I think enough is enough. You know, fight the man. This is becoming a joke now. Fight the man. Even Mayweather and Pacquiao finally fought, and that was something that people said that Mayweather was ducking Pacquiao for a long time. You know, so the boxing world is tired of the games when it comes to boxing. They're just tired of it. The boxing world, they want to see people that are at the top fight each other. And even if they're no longer at the top, they have top names within that within the boxing world. So let's get it going. Let's get it going. But what's your thoughts on all this? As always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you haven't hit already, hit the like button on your way out. Hit the subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And as always, stay honorable.